Dexter Henry here at Knicks Media Day, and I'm joined by Stefan Bondy, the new New York Post Knicks beat writer. Steph, welcome to the team.
Well, thank you. I'm very happy to be here.
Yeah, happy to be here. We're going to be doing a lot more of these videos. So, first day of getting back to the season with the Knicks, and we heard a lot from the guys today. I want to talk a little bit about that. And when you talk about the Knicks, you got to look at what else has gone on in the Eastern Conference. We've seen moves by the Boston Celtics getting Drew Holiday, the Milwaukee Bucks getting Damian Lillard. When you hear from what you've heard from Coach Tibbs and the guys today, how do they feel that they stack up against the elite teams now in the Eastern Conference?
Well, they didn't really want to talk specifically about the pecking order and all that stuff, but what the big takeaway for me was continuity, right? The ability to get better from within and keep the same starting lineup and build from there, because there is something to that. I mean, through the years of Phil Jackson and Steve Mills after, it was a lot of changeover with the roster. With this, they're bringing the exact same starting lineup back. Now you could say, well, that shows they didn't really improve, but there's a lot of opportunity there to get acclimated to each other better, to find different ways of playing better together. You see the Denver Nuggets. What's a big factor in them winning? They've been continuity and being together. So that's really where they think the progress is going to come from.
Progress can come there. It can come internally. Obviously, a successful season last year with 47 wins there, Stefan. With that continuity that you just talked about, do you think there's pressure on them to improve upon the 47 wins that we saw last year? How do you feel about that? Do you feel like with having that feeling of continuity that they can get to that next level?
Yeah, I mean, there's pressure because the thing that they don't want is to be stagnant or regress, because then the heat starts falling on the coach, and then the heat starts falling on the front office, and then changes are going to happen. There's always pressure to get better, and with Thibodeau's first season, they played amazing. They were great. His second season, not so much. And then you felt the pressure start to build. I think the expectation is always, especially when you have a team that's been together, is to get better. So, of course, there's pressure to not only exceed the 47 wins that they had last season, but to build on that second-round playoff appearance. Perhaps, and I know everybody's putting Boston and Milwaukee up there already, perhaps even make a conference final.
All right, that would be progress. Obviously got to the second round last year, falling to the Miami Heat. Last thing, headed to training camp. They're going to do that in Charleston, South Carolina. You will be with the team covering them there. This team got off to a slow start offensively last year in terms of shooting the ball, but then we saw improvement as the year went on. What do you think is going to be the focus of this Knicks team as they head to training camp down in South Carolina?
I think it's finding a way to work Dante DiVincenzo into the mix, finding different ways that they can tinker this guard rotation, because today Thibodeau basically said we're starting with Quentin Grimes, but we're going to see how things unfold. So figuring out a way to not only work the guard rotation in, but to find out who's best as a backup four. They traded Obi Toppin. They didn't really bring anybody back to replace him as the backup four. And today Thibodeau said, well, we're probably going to use a lot of Josh Hart if we go small, and maybe even Jericho Sims if we go big. So this is figuring out different ways to tinker and see what's best with this team and what's working towards, like we talked about, a good regular season.
Yeah, they're going to work towards that. Day one. Media Day, back at it. Stefan Bondy in the fold for the New York Post covering the Knicks. Steph, thank you for the time. We'll see how the Knicks do through training camp.